They woke up in the middle of the night and did something completely unexpected that modern science is finally proving was absolute genius for human health. You lie awake at 2 a.m. staring at your ceiling wondering why your brain won't shut off. And you start worrying that you're completely broken right now. But the real answer is far stranger because you are not broken at all. You're actually sleeping in the completely wrong way for your brain structure. For thousands of years, humans never slept in one long continuous block, and the reason they stopped is one of the most accidental mistakes in human history. Your ancestors used a sleep pattern that split the entire night into two separate parts, and during that middle wakeful hour, they cured their anxiety naturally forever. Modern scientific studies show this ancient approach actually matches exactly how your brain evolved to work, and sticking to it might be the secret to sleeping better. This is the complete story of biphasic sleep, the 2,000-year-old sleep rhythm your body is still waiting for desperately right now today. You have probably heard the completely false myth that ancient humans slept from sunset to sunrise like some peaceful continuous dream without ever waking up once. That belief is completely wrong, and the evidence comes from everywhere, including medieval literature that specifically mentions first sleep and second sleep as two separate things. Historian Roger Ekirch published a groundbreaking scientific study in 2001 after analyzing sleep records from 17th century England and found something truly shocking about humans. People went to bed between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., slept for a few hours, then woke up for an hour or two before sleeping again until morning. During that middle wakeful period, they never scrolled on phones or checked emails. They stayed in bed, meditating, reflecting on dreams, visiting neighbors, or even reading quietly. Some used it for prayer with special prayer manuals from the 15th century, citing prayers specifically for these hours between first and second sleeps every single night. This pattern was not just in Europe, it appeared across Africa, Southeast Asia, Australia, the Middle East, and was so common it had names in multiple languages globally. The Odyssey from 8th century BC Greece, one of the earliest written texts, mentions first sleep, proving this goes back at least 2,800 years easily. Something as fundamental as how humans sleep being recorded in the world's oldest epic poem tells us this was universal human behavior for everyone everywhere in history. Then everything changed dramatically in the late 19th century with the Industrial Revolution and the invention of artificial light that never went off at night anymore. Electric streetlights meant nights were not dark anymore, factories ran 24 hours, and people started staying awake later, working more, consuming more products constantly everywhere. By the early 20th century, the two-sleep system was practically abandoned completely, and consolidated 8-hour monophasic sleep became the new standard for everyone forever. But your brain did not evolve to adapt to that massive switch in just 50 years, and now we are paying the price with insomnia, anxiety, and sleep disorders. Sleep expert Dr. Philip Gehrman from University of Pennsylvania confirmed that until the late 19th century, the standard pattern since time immemorial was segmented sleep for humans everywhere. He said the range of activities during that middle hour is truly striking and includes things modern people desperately need, like meditation and deep reflection on life itself. The real shock comes when you realize insomnia as we know it barely existed before this switch, and people did not even have a word for it originally. UCLA researcher Jerome Siegel studied modern hunter-gatherers in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia, whose lifestyles closely resemble ancient humans from thousands of years ago perfectly. His team tracked 98 people over 1,165 nights and found they slept an average of only 6 hours and 25 minutes. But here's the key: they rarely took naps, and insomnia was so rare among those studied that the San and Simane do not have a word for disorder. Siegel said the argument has always been that modern life reduced our sleep time, but our data indicates that this common belief is actually a myth completely. The real difference was not duration, it was rhythm and temperature played a bigger role than light in shaping when they slept naturally without any external help. What they saw was striking sleep occurs during falling temperature, and when temperature hits bottom, they wake up regardless of what time it is on clocks. This pattern resulted in roughly the same wake-up time each morning, a habit long recommended for treating sleep disorders today by medical doctors everywhere consistently. The team was surprised to find all three groups receive maximal light exposure in morning, suggesting morning light regulates the brain's internal clock, naturally, perfectly, every day. Charlie Nunn, professor of evolutionary anthropology at Duke, studied Hadza hunter-gatherers and found something even more fascinating about sleep variation across different age groups of people. On average, participants went to bed shortly after 10 p.m. and woke around 7 a.m., but some retired as early as 8 p.m., while others stayed up past 11. They call this the poorly sleeping grandparent hypothesis, where older people in their 50s and 60s go to bed earlier and wake earlier than younger people always. For much of human history, living in mixed age groups with different sleep habits helped ancestors keep watch and make it through the night safely without sentinels. If you are older, you are more of a morning lark, and if you're younger, you are more of a night owl. And this variation ensured someone was awake. This evolutionary leftover explains why mismatched sleep schedules and restless nights might actually be survival mechanisms from when lions lurked in shadows at 2 a.m. dangerously. In lighter sleep stages, you would be more attuned to any threat in the environment, and that is exactly what older adults experience naturally without trying at all. Now modern science is finally catching up and proving that what seems like insomnia might actually be your body trying to return to biphasic sleep patterns naturally. Dr. Thomas Wehr at National Institute of Mental Health conducted an experiment putting modern subjects in pre-industrial conditions without any artificial light at nighttime. After 4 weeks, his subjects slept an average of 8 hours, but in 2 separate cycles, proving humans have a natural inclination toward biphasic patterns strongly. This research concludes that if you ever find yourself up in the middle of the night, your patterns might be closer to ancestors than you think realistically today. The hack your ancestors swore by was not a pill or a trick. It was accepting that middle wakeful period and using it for something restorative always. Instead of panicking about not sleeping, they stayed calm, meditated, reflected on dreams, visited neighbors, or did quiet activities that did not stress them mentally at all. They understood that waking up in the middle of the night was normal and that forcing themselves back to sleep immediately created anxiety that made it worse. Modern people do the opposite. They lie awake worrying about not sleeping, checking phones, getting stressed, which creates a cycle that makes insomnia worse dramatically over time. The anxiety about not sleeping is often worse than the actual lack of sleep. And that anxiety comes from thinking you're broken when you're not broken. Your body might be trying to wake up during falling temperature like your ancestors did, and fighting that creates more stress and more sleep problems constantly. Accepting the wakeful period and using it for meditation or reflection instead of panicking is the actual secret your ancestors used for 2,000 years successfully. Try going to bed around 10 p.m. without expecting 8 continuous hours, and when you wake up in the middle, do not check your phone or get stressed. Stay in bed, breathe, meditate, reflect on your day or dreams, read something calm. Let yourself be awake for an hour, then sleep again naturally. You might find that total sleep time is still 7 to 8 hours, but split into 2 chunks and you wake up feeling better than you have in years. Morning light exposure is crucial. So get outside within 30 minutes of waking to reset your brain's clock and regulate your sleep cycle naturally perfectly every single day. Keep your bedroom cool because falling temperature triggers sleep, and waking at temperature bottom is exactly what hunter-gatherers did consistently without any help or tools. Consistency matters more than duration, so wake at the same time every morning regardless of when you fell asleep, and your body will adjust quickly naturally. You do not need to force 8 hours of continuous sleep, and trying to might be the exact problem causing your insomnia and anxiety right now today. Your ancestors did not have sleep disorders because they accepted natural sleep variation and did not fight their body's rhythm at all ever in their lives. The 2,000-year-old hack is simple: stop fighting the middle of the night wake and use it for restoration instead of panic immediately right now. They woke up in the middle of the night and did something completely unexpected that modern science is finally proving was absolute genius, and now you can too. Your brain is still waiting for the rhythm it evolved for, and giving it back that rhythm might be the sleeping solution you have been searching for all this time.